Okay, we're going to take a quick video to review for test chapter, second half of chapter 4. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the audio on this, so hopefully you can hear it. I'll check it before I turn you loose. Okay, the first half of the chapter we were graphing parabolas, quadratics, whatever you want to call them. Okay, you need to review that. So if you have something like y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 3, do you know how to find the axis of symmetry? Okay, the axis of symmetry, you do the opposite of b over 2a. So I want you to identify a, b, and c. So when you find the axis of symmetry, the opposite of b would be 8 over 2a. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So that's our axis of symmetry. Okay, and we know that C is your y-intercept, and use symmetry, and then we made an xy table. So if we put 2 in for x, try to find y, 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8, minus 8 times 2, minus 16, plus 3, I do believe we get negative 5. Sorry, that isn't very even. So I've got the point 2, negative 5. We have the symmetric points. We only need one more point. One is between the axis of symmetry and one of my points. So this would be 2 minus 8 plus 3. I believe that's negative 3. I didn't draw that great, but you get the idea. So we can use that. Now, the other thing we're going to throw in on this is, what if instead of equals, this was greater than or equal? Now, I threw the or equal on because I already have drawn a line. What do you do different? Well, the only thing you do different is you pick a point either inside or outside of your parabola. I'm going to pick inside. What if I pick the point 1, 0? If I put 0 in for y, and I compare this, is it greater than? Is it true with greater than? To 2 minus 8 plus 3, and 0 compared to negative 3, yes, that's true, so it's going to include that part. So then I have to indicate this is the portion I want. Okay, so we might throw that in. Also, as long as we're here talking about it, what if we had a system? What if we had y is less than negative x squared plus 4? Okay, well, negative x squared plus 4, there's no b term, so we know that it's going to have the axis of symmetry as the y-axis, y-axis. So if we put 0 in for x, we're going to get 4. If we put either 1 or negative 1 in, we will get 3. If we put 2 or negative 2, we'll get 0. Okay. There's my 4. This time it is not or equal. Okay. So what would be less than? Well, we could try 0, 0. Is 0 less than 4? Yes. So then it would be this part. And where do they overlap? They're going to overlap in here. This could probably be extended. But their overlap is going to be in the part that they share there. So there's another thing to review. Right? Don't forget also to review the other kinds. Okay, now this is the factored form. So we know that the zeros of this graph would be at x equals 2 and negative 1. Okay. There's 2, here's negative 1. So my axis of symmetry is the average, so 1/2. So then when we put 1/2 in for x, excuse me, we had 3 times 3 halves. excuse me, negative 3 halves and positive 3 halves. So we're going to have negative 27 over 4, not quite negative 7. I'll just put it down here so we can keep going. 1/2 negative 27 over 4. Okay, then if I put in 0, I would have 3 times negative 2 times positive 1, and that would be a negative 6. And you should have realized it was going to be fairly skinny because of the 3. And then my favorite form, I think, I don't know, is the form that's giving me the vertex. Looking at that, I know my H is 3 and my K is 4. So I already know this is starting at 3, 4. And because it's negative 1/2, I know it's going to go down, so then I would just try some points. Okay, if I try 2, 1, and 0, that's more than I would need to, but I just want to be a little ambitious and not lazy for you guys. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. When I square it, it's 1. So I'd have negative 1/2 plus 4, that'd be 3.5. So 2, 3.5. And if I put in 1, I would have negative 1/2. 1 minus 3 is negative 2, squared is 4. So this will be negative 2 plus 4, that would be 2. So 1, 2, use symmetry, and 0. Negative 1/2. Negative 3 squared is 9, plus 4. I'm going to have negative 4.5 plus 4 would be negative 1/2. All right, there you have it. So we graphed those. We reviewed the 3 things already pretty fast. The other thing we, on the test, you have to solve using the quadratic formula. And I think all of you would be fine with that. You could go back and take a look, but that's if you have something like 3x squared minus 7x minus 1 equals 0. I ask you to identify A, B, and C. And then you put it in the x equals opposite b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so we get 7 over 6 plus or minus, this would be 49 plus 12 is 61, and I believe that's a prime number. Okay, over that same 6. And also solve by completing the square. And you have to show your work on this. You can't just give me the answer. Okay, if you're not showing your work, you're not going to get credit for anything but the answer. That would be 1 point. Okay. So if you have something like 4x squared equals 8 minus, I don't care, we'll keep it fairly nice for you, 12x. Okay, 2 things I want you to do. First, I want you to have the x squared and the x term together. And if there's any lead coefficient, divide it out. Now, when you complete the square, remember that is a process. These 2 steps go together. You're thinking, well, what was squared so that I start with this much of my trinomial, and I'll be adding here and here. Remember, you add the same thing to both sides. Well, remember, we took that geometrically and we cut that in half. So I'm going to write it as 3 halves because it's a lot easier for me to square a fraction that's improper than a mixed number. So when I square it, I get 9/4. Now, don't let me confuse you. When I add this, 2 is 8/4 plus 9/4 would be 17/4. That process is completing the square. Okay, make sure you can do that. Then to solve it, remember, all you got to do is undo what's been done to x. So the first thing we did was add the 3 halves and we squared it. So we undo squaring first. I don't know the square root of 17, but I do know the square root of 4. And then move the 3 halves over. Okay? Eventually, you're going to get to choose which way you're going to solve that. For now, I want you to see that these two answers, this one and this one, they look so much the same. It's just a matter which way is easier. For me, I complete the square whenever I can easily divide out my lead coefficient. This one I would not want to have divided by 3. That would have made my middle term miserable. Okay, I'm going to pause and see if this recorded. I'll just do 2 videos.